Hello, welcome. Welcome. We are going to be looking at an RTS prototype that we're going to work on. And I'm sleepy and not fully cognizant right now. There's two things I want to work on. I want to make units, not just stand around and attack things in range. I would like to give them a little more intelligence. That means like they chase enemies. That means they have an attack priority. Not attack priority, that's not the right thing. Once they have an attack target, they stick to that attack target until that attack target, I guess, moves out of range or something. At the moment, attack target is whoever's closest. And that's placeholder. We're going to put something in a little less placeholder. The other thing I would like to add, hold on one second. The other thing I want to add is on the buildings. Let me just hit play. Buildings have this queue here. And I was thinking, and I've said this in the past, that it's really fun when you press this button and a lot of units fall out. And I can't just make the build time of this like 0.1 seconds and go, because then that's not much of a strategy game. But maybe I can like get part of the way there if I have an extra mechanic here that I'm going to be adding today. And the purpose of that mechanic is whenever this is sitting idle, this is going to bank its idle time, its idle production. And then whenever I build, it's going to spend that idle production to speed up the building process so that if I have this building sit for like 30 seconds, that 30 seconds is not necessarily wasted. It's get shoved into building a lot of units really fast, which is fun. I don't know if that's going to be a successful mechanic, but I'm doing it. Also added gold, and also unit building, unit building. Ooh. I feel like I'm like about the halfway point in terms of adding features to this game. And I'm really looking forward to moving on to the polish stage, and not going too deep into the mechanics of an RTS. I could go really deep and add like water and add like naval units and add like big maps and 4-player and multiplayer, and I could go deep, but I don't think. I'm a solo dev. I have to learn when to cut my scope and move on. And I want to put this on itch at some point soon. I'll put it on itch in an unpolished state, but I won't stop polishing it. That won't stop me from actually polishing it. I'm just going to publish it out there just to show off. Man, I'm tired. Hey, let's go. We need to see. This is probably going to necessitate a new component, probably like an instinct component. Units do have a state. I did add that, but the state is kind of half baked at the moment. Pretty sure it's in here. I thought a long time about like, should I just make a state component? That's a bit too heavy-handed. I did make a helper though. Yeah, here are the 3 states: idle, moving, and under construction. There are going to be more states. We're going to have attacking. We're going to have holding position. We're going to have patrolling. Might be other states too. I don't know. We only want our units to act independently if they have not been given orders. So basically, if the state is idle, then do things. We may want to track when we're doing orders versus when the player has given us orders if we're the unit. So like we'll have a like moving. Do I have that state? Yeah, moving state, and then we'll have like a moving instinct state. So that instinct is allowed to interrupt moving instinct. It's not allowed to interrupt moving. If I had given a move command to a unit and that unit walks by an enemy, the unit should continue moving. They should not stop. I think that's a good way to do that. In fact, let me just add that right now. So let's start there. So I would like my unit to have an instinct component, and that instinct component is going to, this might not be an instinct component thing. This might be a combat component thing. Because what I want my unit to do is periodically look around and see, is there an enemy unit near me? First of all, look around. Am I idle or am I in an instinct state? And if so, look around. Is there an enemy either within attack range or close to within attack range? Like plus or minus 4. And if they're close, move towards them. What I just said, let's just do that. I just said it, let's do it. We don't need to do it every frame because that's expensive. We can do it. We can just make this. Okay. So, we'll set a constant instinct check. And then we'll check every second. Right. At this point, we want to get nearby units. Only gets adjacent units, right? There's going to be a maximum range where we can search, and we can exceed that maximum range, but that makes our game less efficient, which is not a big deal because we don't have a million billion units, but I do need to be cognizant. This is only getting units within 256 plus half of that distance. So 384. But the attack range is not that high, so maybe that's a silly worry. My worry is that I'm going to have a unit with a really high attack range, and because that range is really high, if I look outside of that range, I'm never going to see any units because this function never returns units at that distance. But let me just check what I've done. The attack range is 350. Huh. Now what I could do, first of all, what? Oh, yeah, just go away for now. What I could do, this feels like an okay range. And what I could do is I could just make the grid bigger. or each grid unit bigger, so I can make each one like 512. And if I do that, then I don't need to worry about this problem ever. I put a hack here to experiment with this. What if I set that to 512? Does the game... This makes the game less efficient, but... I mean, things still work, so whatever. What I could do is set this to something small, like 128, and then pass in the range that I want to search, and then have this function go, oh, you want to search at that range? That means you need X grid. I need to search X grids to make sure I've looked at every unit that I could possibly hit. Let me do that. Make function that takes in a range and dynamically adjusts which grids to look at based on that range. But just setting it to 512 for now, and then moving on is fine. We got this instinct check. If the instinct check, okay. Instinct equals 0.0. If unit dot state in state helper dot passive states. Uh-oh. I have lost connection. And we're back. We have connection again. Woo. Okay. If we're in a passive state, then let's do let's look around for enemies for us. For unit param in, ooh, it occurs to me, I don't need to call this twice. I don't want to be, every time I call this function, declare a variable. But I do. Nearby units. Okay. If this unit does not belong to us. And its position dot distance squared to unit position is less than the square root attack range. Let's add, I don't know, 64 to this. No. Yeah, let's try 64. Let's make that a constant. Okay, if that's the case, then let's go to our unit dot. We have a nav agent dot set position target position equals unit param dot position. Break. Oh, it's definitely there. Static var. There we go. Okay. I mean, honestly, can I make this a const? Pretty sure I can't make arrays constant. Oh, I can. Cool, great. This should mean that if we get close to a unit, it'll start chasing us. Okay, why did that happen? I found a bug. My enemy units will build my mines for me. Hey, when I'm building, the capture component should pass the allegiance of the unit to the building. Easy fix. Let's fix that right now, because that's super easy. Oh no, I've got unit twice. Okay, that should fix that bug. All right, now I don't understand why the moving... Like, is this out of range? I guess it's only 8 pixels off. It's not that many pixels. So let's make that number a little bigger. 128. $256. That's not right. Something's not right. I'm not doing something right. You know what? I should just do like 40.02. I don't understand. We're checking. Okay, so the checking is happening. Okay. Oh, that's too much. That's not helpful. Uh... Allegiance value. Okay, so that'll filter out. So I should only be getting these 3 units. Let me just go get you, Deadeye. I don't understand why this array is returning so many things. It shouldn't be. I should have 1 unit. It's this unit. Their gold is giving me money. I should need to fix that. All right, this print line nonsense is not going to fly. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Okay. Now we're running into the problem of I don't have an attack state. So okay, I should be able to just run down here. Okay, one more test. If I stand here, do my units... Is that because of the grid? Like, that should not be... I should not need to get so close to activate these. What if I set it to, like, something stupid, like 9,000? Oh, it works. But how? The grid isn't that big. I guess I'm just vastly underestimating how big this number needs to be. Because Like 900 pixels is like the size of the screen. Like this whole screen is 1,000 pixels. So 500. Like what did I have it set to before? 200. 200 feels like the width of my mouse is like 64 pixels. It just doesn't feel that much. It just doesn't feel like it. But it's working. Okay, and do I want to have a thing where like, if I'm moving on instinct, I will call out to my allies and tell them, you're also moving on instinct. I don't know. I do not know. I probably should have an instinct check on, is this a landmark? If it's a landmark, go touch it. But I don't think this returns landmarks. I think this explicitly returns not landmarks. I think I had to update the function to do that. Yeah, if thing is unit. Yeah. If thing is landmark. Get things in rec. No, okay, yeah. So we have to explicitly look at landmarks if we want to increase that. That's fine. Okay, let's do a thing where if we're in a passive state and that state is not idle, or I can even go as far as to say, are we passive moving or passive attacking? Let's just say not idle. If unit state is not idle. Let's make this not a function of the attack range. Let's just make this a function of like everyone within 400 of me. So like long range people aren't better at calling allies than short range people. For unit param in nearby units, if unit.allegiance is my allegiance. Oh, but first, if unit.state is not a unit dot state, no, state helper dot state dot idle. Then we go to our buddies, we say, hey, are you within ally call range, friend call range? Let's not call it friend. Ally call range. And unit param dot state in state helper dot passive states. And If all of that, then set the unit param dot snav agent dot what is it? Target position equals unit dot nav agent dot target. Okay. What is this talking about? Do I have to make this static? It doesn't make sense. Okay, now if I tempt this guy, they should summon the buddies. Yeah. They left a good bind. That's fine. We can play around a bit with this range, though. I think that's fine, too. Okay. We should have a rule. There's no attack instinct. Just attack. If we're attacking something, we should not move. So, and we only attack things if we're in range. So, let's make a new state. Attacks the attack state. Where is the state helper? Attacking. Okay, so while we're attacking, we're not moving. And the way this is going to work, if we did damage, then set our state to attacking. If we get past this return, and we have not attacked, and our state is we're attacking, let's set it to idle. We don't care particularly about, oh, I lost connection again. Why does that keep happening? I wish I knew. We're back. Okay. I don't know at what point we set our state back to idle from moving. Oh, wait a minute. We don't want to be able to attack and move. That's just a placeholder. But we do want to be able to catch if we're attack moving. which is not a state that we're in yet, but if dot state equals state helper dot state state dot idle, then put all this out. And then this doesn't make any sense. How do we get out of the attacking state? Okay, maybe this is fine. Maybe this is fine. No. It would be nice to have a little label above each and every unit to tell me what state they're in, just for debugging purposes. So let's do that. Oh, shoot. I don't want an int. How do I get the actual name of the enum? Godot get name of enum. Encode. Yeah. Enum name keys. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I get it. State.keys. Nope. State helper.state.keys. And then state. Right? Okay, so I never actually initialize this value. That's interesting. And we never set this guy to moving while we're moving. Also interesting. Where's our nav agent? Oh. What? Could not resolve external class member unit, but there's no unit. What? Okay. That's fine. And because I did that, I don't need this anymore. But I do. What? Why? Oh, because we're not a moving. So I do need that in it. I do need that in it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a moving state. We should attach that to the move command. If we give a move command, we should set the actor's state to. That means if we're going to move, we have to use this move command to do it. Or, we need to set the state independently. So let's go back to our combat component. And when we're setting our nav agent, we also want to set unit.state equals state helper.state dot moving instinct. Okay. Oh. Oh, moving instinct should override attacking. That should be an attack state. Yes. Yes. Uh-oh. That was close. Oh, I don't have a stop command. We should probably do a thing where, like, if we're moving below a certain speed, just stop moving. Movement below a certain speed does not count. Why can't I scroll? There we go. Because this is not flying. But it's only because they're jiggling. Can I just clear my agents? Says target position to the agent's current global position. Is that safe? That's not going to result in, like, massive performance loss if we do that every loop, right? Does that work? No, because that's actually, this is not the speed of, this is not the velocity of the unit. Or unit data dot velocity, which is calculated down here. Right? Is velocity, where is velocity coming from? Velocity. Okay. I just want to see. There's velocity, it's a vector 2. Okay. I knew it was a vector 2. What are the functions in a vector 2? That's actually what I wanted to ask. Can I convert this into a magnitude? Length? Length is fine. If unit data dot velocity dot length is less than 0.1, set it to 0, clear out the nav agent. Okay. That should make this I don't need that. And I don't need that. And I don't need that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Those are functions, not properties. Oh no. Oh no. Our velocity is getting overridden. That doesn't work. Yeah, we basically, that doesn't work. Oh, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to say, let's not zero out the velocity and see what happens. No, that's still a problem. All right, what am I trying to say? If we're jiggling, is there a way to ask the nav agent, like, am I blocked? Obstacles? Can we check? Are we colliding with something? And collisions. Collisions. How do we check if we're colliding with something? We have a collision shape. I'm pretty sure that's an object already. It is not. Dot. Is colliding. Give me the docs. Show me the documentation. Is the collision code here? No, actually, I wanted character body 2D. Like, is colliding. This is the lowest. It has to be here. Godot detect if colliding 2D. No, I don't want to use an area 2D. Use character bodies 2D. Yeah. You can check for collisions during movement. Get slide collision count. Why didn't I see that before? Ah. Yeah, that's the function. If this is greater than 1, This is not a function of this collision shape. This is actually a function of us being a character body 2D greater than 1. Okay, we should be able to move now. Unless we collide with something and then we can never move ever again. I mean, it's kind of working. I'm pretty sure what we've done is kind of buggy, though. We're missing something important. Or I guess, actually, if we're standing still, we're not colliding. So we always can get our velocity up to... Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Like, we can't move. We're just trapped here, frozen. We're trapped in a collision. Okay, that did help. So if we're not moving at all, we just straight up ignore that. Why are these guys stuck moving forever? Their velocity is greater than 0. I can see them jiggling. Do we need to raise this? Because the velocity, yeah. The velocity is actually probably quite high. Like when do you go from moving to idle? When did they go from? Are they just skipping this function? This function should be setting that guy to idle. Maybe the velocity needs to be like 1.0. They're like, I'm moving slowly, but I'm not moving that slowly. Maybe this is the problem? Doesn't count if it's one collision. What if we just get rid of this line entirely? We don't care about the collisions at all. If you stop moving, you're idle. Does this guy look like they're moving? Oh, look, 6 guys that are all moving. How wonderful. That was it? That was the problem? They're just, like, even when they're just standing next to each other, moving at an infinitesimally small rate, that's still higher than 2.0 units. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Right, let's move like a big pile of people. All right, great. This is painful. Maybe we can simplify this a little and we can just say like if your speed is below a certain threshold, we're going to set you to idle, but we're going to keep going. So we can just skip all of this, throw this all away. Let me do that. If our navigation is finished or our speed is less than 0 and we were in a moving state, set us to idle and end this function completely. We're done. Else, if velocity is greater than 0, if velocity is not 0, update the grid cell. If velocity is greater than like 5, all right, all of that. Let's see how it works. Okay, if we're not moving, we're idle. This number just probably needs to be higher. This probably needs to be higher. It's okay if we're like jiggling and we attack. I don't care about that. I just don't want like we're moving slowly. Okay, we shouldn't be able to move and idle at the same time. So that number might be too high. 15. Let's call this the idle threshold. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is fine. Okay, that guy's still moving? I don't think so. Actually, they are still moving. That's weird. I need to figure out the pathfind. There is an algorithm to improve the pathfinding. This is what I have right now is just naive pathfinding. There is a way to improve pathfinding for an RTS specifically, like moving clusters of units as a group. If I figure out what that is, and then I use it, maybe this problem goes away. I don't need to worry about the problems that I'm having. Okay, and I actually think I want to lower my moving instinct. Make it a little shorter. I don't mind, but it just doesn't feel right. And this is visually muddy. I need to figure out better way to have all this. Like all these graphics are placeholder, but at this point the placeholder is starting to make it harder to debug. So I do need to figure that out. And I think I've lost connection again. Oh, all right. This is something that's going to need a lot of playtesting to make feel right. I'm not surprised that this sucks. The whole state thing. I was kind of anticipating that. I think it's going to take like several weeks of polish to get it into a state that's like, oh, this is fun. This works exactly how I expect to. Can't take for granted. Like how much a good RTS makes all of that just work. TM. All right, I think I need to configure this to respect attack targets, but I'm feeling kind of out of energy working on this specific problem. I would like to work on the queue. So we need to add a new element to this build queue, and I think all build queues are going to have it, so we can just modify the unit builder component. We're going to add a new feature. This is not going to be part of the unit queues. This is going to be its own separate pool. And I think this would just be a delta, like queued time. Delta. Nope. Float. And then for now, let's just make a constant, like const max time. $90 seconds. Mainly for the UI. Let's actually make it like 30 seconds for the UI. So what this means is if a queue is not doing anything, if the queue is not empty, do a thing else. Queue pool queued time plus equals delta. If queued time is greater than max queue time, cool, great. We need to add a UI bit for this. Do we have the UI here? No, we're probably calling our manager. There's a UI manager. manager, build queue manager. Here we go. Okay. Register build queue, set build queue, hide build queue. This is all strictly speaking from the perspective of putting it on screen. So we've got our build queue HUD. Here it is. Let's look at it in the form of how it is on screen. But first we have to get to the scene. There it is. Okay, we just have a progress bar, and there's also the unit goes here. Let's put another progress bar. Time queue. And I don't want to put it here. I want to put it. Oh, it should not go in this VBox container. That's indeed incorrect. Let's make it vertical, because I haven't done a vertical one before. Bottom to top. Show percentage? No, we're going to go from 0 to 30. Because that's our max. And we can set that dynamically, however we need it to, but for now, it's just how it be. I mean, I guess I can show percentage. Sure. No, I don't know. Whatever. Just keep going. Just keep going. Okay. So we have our build queue manager. Oh, we have our unit. The unit has a build queue. Okay, so we just go into the unit.buildQueue.queued time. Time queue dot value equals unit dot build queue dot time queue time. There we go. Okay, that should be enough to make the UI show us what we want. There it is. I wanted to make that blue. I don't know why I wanted to make it blue, but I did. So I'm gonna spend the time to do that. Yeah. Now we have a little energy bar filling up. And then what I would like for the queue to do is go, how much time is in the queue battery? Every tick subtract enough to make the queue go like 5 times faster. And add that to the progress. So back to our queue manager. Okay. uqp.time minus equals delta. If queued time is greater than 0. Oh, how can I do this in a smart way? The easy thing to do would be subtract uqp.time. Does the UQP have the original speed? It should. Yeah, unit data dot. So I can get the unit data dot build time. Divide that number by Oh no, what am I doing? What I can do is subtract delta from the queued time and then subtract it from the UQP time. And then just repeat that 4 times. What do you mean UPQP? Oh, got that backwards. There we go. All right. Now, when we build something, it should very much subtract from this to make it come out faster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, we're out of battery. Okay. Okay. And then normally these guys take 10 seconds to build. Way faster with a little battery. Okay. I like that. I like that. I don't know if that's going to hurt balance. You know, I think I'm at the stage where I can hide that green circle. Where's my draw function? Did this pop out more than... whoops. Hold on, I gotta fix that. I forgot to copy a return. Yeah. Don't cram out 30 units because we hit the jackpot with our little bank. Oh man, we got wrecked. I don't know how though. Okay, definitely need to fix up the instincts. Or the state. It's definitely broken. Why are you guys not attacking? Isn't this mine? Why are you not attacking me? Is this not mine? Why is the color wrong? Moving instincts should override. If we set the state to attacking, we should clear out the nav agent. This would be a lot easier if I just did everything through commands instead of just like setting the nav agent and setting the state. I should do that. Let me put a to do in the unit to do only manipulate state and stuff through commands. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's definitely broken. Okay. Figure that out. To do, figure that out. I don't want to troubleshoot right now. I'm too tired and scared. I'm just pretty sure I can figure this out if I get a good night's rest and then look at it with fresh eyes. I'll immediately be like, oh no, that's dumb. What I'm doing is dumb. I shouldn't do that. What I need to do next is add building. So we need to add a worker unit or a builder unit and then be able to build buildings. So I can build this. I also would like to add a HUD. I think we're at the stage where adding a HUD it should be easy to do and it'll make me feel better. And then also add the stop. Oh, we do have a stop button. Yeah. That's what it should do. Yeah, once we have building, then the only other thing we need to add is additional maps and movement between the maps. And then we're not done, but we've added enough of the mechanics that we can just start working on polishing. And then if we need more mechanics, come up with the mechanics there. And then once we've polished, we have a game and we're good. Everything's good. A plus. Polishing is going to soak up a lot of time, and in the process of that, I'm hoping that we'll learn some truths about what's fun and what's not, so that we can adjust cores. Can I make this go even faster? I want to set that to like 10. Let's go with 16. Oh yeah. Hold on. Times 4. Yeah. So I want that. I want this where I press the button and a unit immediately pops out. And I'm totally fine with that being a limited resource. I'm totally fine with that being this just for testing purposes. This is obviously too much recharge. We may tie this into like, it costs additional gold to do this, but not a lot. I want this. I want this bar to be full, and I want the player to spam out a bunch of units, because I think that's fun. I'm keeping this. One more time, and then I'm going to stop. Okay. Okay. That's enough. Still a lot to do. But we're getting there. We're more than halfway there. This is more than halfway there. The other thing I need to do is, you'll notice, I don't know if I pointed this out, but the graphic here doesn't make any sense for buildings under construction. And that's because I've run out of graphics to use. I need to source more graphics. I absolutely need to source more graphics for a small number of additional features. Having a under construction graphic, kind of important. Probably want to have like a missile graphic too. And there's one other. I can't remember. I wrote it down. Don't worry. Don't worry. Past me, remembered, and wrote it down, and that's all I need to worry about. All right. That's progress. That's more to do. I think I'm going to stream adding the mini map and stream adding additional maps, connecting the maps. Because I just don't want to do that off stream. I just don't have the motivation to do that, even though those are both like kind of important. That'll probably be what I do next. Probably. Anyway, that is it for me. This is a good streaming session. Don't want to overdo it. Don't want to stress. I leave it here. Hope your game dev is going well. Hope things are going good on your end. Hope you're having lots of fun, playing lots of fun games, discovering lots of fun things about game design, and hope y'all are getting rest. See you all next time. Bye, everybody.